have a better view. Hi there, so I'm Joy from Joylight Transformational Coaching. This is a spontaneous video. I want to talk to my goddesses on fire. How are you guys doing, and how's the flame burning today? Having a good day, or is the flame a little bit dim today? So today we're talking about, are you the predator or the prey? So what do I mean by that? So I am basing this little chat from my favorite book, which is Women Who Run with the Wolves by Clarissa Pinkola Estes. So I am basically picking one of the chapter, a few lines from her, and discussing how that might apply to your life. And I hope that you would be able to gain some insights. And if it's not applicable to you, guess what? Power on. Very good. So I would like to read this particular paragraph. It says, this is basically in reference to what is your existing situation in life. Are you happy where you are? Are you happy with the people you're surrounded with? Are you happy with the partner that you chose? Are you happy with the job that you have chosen? How is the situation? When you feel it in your heart, are you happy? Do you have joy? Do you wake up every day with joy, or do you wake up with dread? Take a moment, think about it. How's the picture right now? Is it a beautiful picture that you're having, or is there some parts in the picture that you are not so joyful about? So this is 4 questions that I would like to invite you to investigate based on those spots in the picture that you are not so joyful about. So here we go. What stands behind? Why the unhappiness? Why the non-joyfulness? What is not as it appears? So on the surface it looks like this, but in reality it's like that? Or in reality you feel something else? It just looks very nice on the outside, the topping is very pretty, but when you dig into the cake, it's not as great as it looks. The third question, what do I know deep in my overalls that I wished I did not know? Is there some truth that you are not admitting to? Is there some truth that you are hiding yourself from? Is there some truth that you are distracting yourself with other things in order to not have to face the truth? Is there something that is there but you've been avoiding for a while? And the fourth question is, what of me has been killed or lays dying? Is there some part of you that is dying, a silent, desperate death, or has it grown in urgency? Either way, what is dying inside of you? So the fourth question is, what stands behind? What is not as it appears? What do I know deep in my overalls that I wished I did not know? What of me has been killed or lays dying? What comes out from this question? Is there something that resonates with you? If there is, you have to watch on this video because it is designed for you. So what is this thing that is bothering you, and why are you giving it permission to continue in your life? What justifications are you giving in your head? Oh, because it's like this, well, you know, it's complicated. Guess what? In the head, it's always complicated, because we're humans, we like to complicate things. But really, is it really that complicated? The fact that you don't have joy in your heart, that's not complicated, isn't it? It's a fact. So I'm going to read another paragraph. Paradoxically, as her old life is dying, and even the best remedies will not hide that fact. She is awake to her blood lost and therefore just beginning to leave. This is in relation to one of the story in this book, which I will not share. Basically what happened is something happened, something bad, she is starting to bleed, she can't stop the bleeding keep on, it just continues. Nothing that she does, and she tried a lot of methods, the bleeding continues. She was desperate because with the bleeding, she was trying to hide the truth about something, and with the bleeding she can't, because it just keep going on, and her whole clothes was covered in blood. Nothing she does could cease the bleeding from continuing. So this is in reference to that. So in reference to your life, when a crisis happens and you're like, oh my God, that happened, what am I gonna do? This is really bad, it's terrible. Well, you know, sometimes that is actually perhaps the moment of awakening. When shit hits the fans, you know, there is potential for change, potential for the positive, potential for the better. Of course, in that moment, it sure doesn't feel like that. It just feels like, and you go crazy, the situation goes chaotic. But listen to this again. Paradoxically, as her old life is dying, and even with the best remedies will not hide that fact, she is awake to her blood lost, and therefore just beginning to live. Sometimes when shit hits the fans, it means it's time. It's time to grow a new skin. It's time to shed the old skin. It's time to live again. It's time to breathe. It's time to remember that you have stopped breathing. It's time to find your joy. It is not acceptable to keep living in dis-ease. Try and think of crisis in a more positive light. So I know if it's, oh, but if I do that in order to get out of the situation because I don't have joy, then all this thing is going to happen. Then it's going to be a crisis. I don't know how I'm going to cope. Well, you know, you have to get rid of the old in order for the new to come. The new cannot come unless you make space in your life, and you need to replace what doesn't work with what works. What kind of life are you looking for? A life that doesn't work? You want to live a life of silent desperation? Or you want to live a life overflowing with joy? It's your choice. It's your life. And nothing you do is ever going to be wrong because it's your life. But hey, perhaps you want to think about living the best expression of your life possible. And I would imagine that life is a life overflowing with joy. So those spots in your picture that you're looking at and it doesn't give you joy, well, you know what? Perhaps what you need is a crisis. Perhaps you need to bleed. Perhaps you need to bleed out the old blood so that new blood can regenerate themselves, and so that you can be a new person. Okay, shed the old skin so that the new skin can come. How is the new skin going to come if you don't shed the old? Cover over the old skin? Does it make sense to you? It doesn't work like that. I know it's scary, right? It's unknown. Hey, let it go. It's okay. If you're doing the right thing, if you're trusting your heart, if you're being authentic to yourself, you are doing the right thing. You don't have to see exactly, let it go. You don't have to see the whole flight of staircase, the whole grand plan. Hey, nobody knows the future, okay? But you know one thing, you know your heart, okay? So just trust that. You don't have to see the whole staircase. Can't you see the first step? Yes, that's all you need to know. Guess what? By the time you're done with it, or perhaps even before you're done with the first step, you probably already have a good inkling what's the next step is going to be. Trust yourself, because you are, guess what, all you have at the end of the day. In the grand scheme of things, you should be your best friend. If you are your worst critic, something is wrong with the picture. Don't you agree? And guess what? You have control. you can change the way things are. If you don't like yourself, if you look at the mirror, you just go, I see all the worst things, I see all the things that I don't like. Hey, you need to do a great makeover. You need to do a makeover on a soul level. You should be looking at the mirror, loving what you see, and just full of love, full of joy, and being happy being who you are. Okay, so coming back to this, so if something in your life is not giving you joy, please, perhaps it's time for a crisis. Scared? Take the first step. Trust yourself. Don't have to see the whole staircase. Guess what? None of us do. Which of your grand plan actually come out exactly the way you plan it? Every step of the way was exactly as you planned. Well, in my life experience, zero. It has never happened like that. Okay, so trust your instinct, trust yourself. If there's no joy, do something about it. Okay, and then this other thing that I would like to read to you, hopefully you will also find enlightenment. Are you the predator or the prey? So that's what this video is about. Are you the prey? That means maybe someone is holding you hostage, and emotionally, physically, mentally, and you're allowing that person to hold you hostage, then you are the prey. Or are you the predator of your life? You go where you like, you stalk what you want, you stalk for your goal, you live the dream life that you want. Are you the predator or the prey? Now, if you are the prey, listen to this. The predator is particularly aggressive in ambushing woman's wildish nature. At the very least, it seeks to scorn, and at the most, to sever a woman's connection to her own insights, inspiration, follow through, and more. Are you allowing someone to do that to you? Then guess what? You are actually partly responsible for what's going on in your life. Own up, own that, okay? And then decide, do I want to continue it like that, or do I want to change? It's your choice, and whatever you decide will never be wrong, because it's your life. So make sure that you know if someone is ambushing your wildest nature, and you are not allowed to be free to celebrate who you are, this goddess on fire, that you were born to be. That is your destiny. I cannot imagine a goddess on fire as a prey. You should be a predator. We are all oof nature. Oof, and women, we are instinctively similar. Do you feel like a oof right now? Yes? Good on you. Keep on feeling that. Feel more of that every day, because that is the powerful you going out in the world doing more good stuff, because you are in your empowered, natural, wildish state. And if you don't feel that way, guess what? Perhaps you need to do some work on your life and start within. You need to start clearing some mental trash. You need to start questioning the thoughts you have in your head. You need to start to decide what kind of life do you want. Are you the predator or are you the prey? Are you the wolf or are you the wolf pretending to be a mouse? So remember, if you're allowing a predator to sever your connection to your own insights, inspiration, and follow through, you are as much responsible for that as the other person or the situation. So this is a food for thought video. I hope that you have found some inspiration. Please, if you're not having any joy in any area of your life, do something about it. And if you are fortunate and blessed enough to live in a natural state, which is a goddess on fire, following her joy and giving her best to the world, celebrate that. Have more of that. That's what I wish for you and everyone watching this video. Thank you all. Have a good night, and be kind to yourself. Smile. Here's to our soul elevation. Catch you soon.